What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. It's that evening where you all get to sit back, pour yourself a nice cold drink, roll yourself a nice big fat one, sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin, and we are brought to you live by Multi Continental Wrestling Alliance on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram. Wherever you find us, as long as you find us, that is the main thing. Tonight, my guest, he's not just a professional wrestler, but he's also a professional wrestling promoter from Sydney, Australia. I've got a lot of questions that I want to know and have answered. This is a guy I've been wanting to get on for a while. I'm really excited to bring him on. His name is Five Star Flash. I was always going to put in a frog for some reason. So, that's a question I want to ask about his name as well. Was that how it came about? I don't know. That's what we ask the hard-hitting questions here on Shooting the Shit. You know this, people. But before we get into it, I want to take a quick pause to thank some sponsors. First up is A-Rock Designs. Now, A-Rock Designs is that company you see all over the wrestling Facebook groups, wrestling pages, wrestling Instagram and Twitter pages, and all that good stuff. They make custom cups, tumblers, keychains, you name it, they make it. They can even monogram your damn dog if you want them to. They made me this custom CM Punk tumbler, which I absolutely love, and a huge mark for CM Punk, despite Bin Hameen making me call him CM Cunt. So thank you very much for that, Bin. But regardless, guys, A-Rock Designs make a really great product for a really great price. My friend Ashley Rodriguez makes all of these products by hand. So make sure you go over and check them out. Next up is Signal Studios. Now, every professional wrestler or every indie wrestler has to have some great, dope entrance music, all right? So if you're an indie wrestler and you watch this show, and we know there's a few workers that decide to tune in every once in a while, you need to get yourself some fresh, fly music to walk to the ring with, and Signal Studios can hook that up. They are a recording studio based in Sydney, Australia. They can mix, master, produce any kind of track that you want and send it to you anywhere in the world. Or if you're a musician and you need a place to rehearse, a place to record, a place to get your creative juices flowing, Signal Studios has the most comfortable space you will possibly find. Seriously, guys, hit up Raf. Go down and check out Signal Studios. You won't be disappointed. Guys, we have seriously people going off in the chat. We got Josh, who is in remission from cancer. That is such great news to hear, bro. Big shout out to you, homie. Thank you for tuning in. Joel Southgate, he's also tuning in. He was the first one here. We got GWS Wrestling Society, Generational Wrestling Society tuning in. Thanks, boys. We got Joel Southgate again. Such lag. Woo, Justin Hicks from the United States. Guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring out this gentleman. He is 5-Star Flash. What's going on, brother? I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for sitting there and letting me get the formalities out of the way for this evening. But, man, you're a guy I've been wanting to get on, and it kind of just happened, you and I getting in contact with each other, and here we are, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate you giving up your time for us this evening. What's been happening, man? How's everything been going with shows now starting to open back up due to the COVID restrictions? I've seen FWA's been man putting on some bangers of some shows, man.
It's going good. It's great we're flying back again. I've missed the hell out of it since COVID happened and whatnot, but now we're back. I'm loving it again. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, nice, man. And you run FWA, which is Future Wrestling Australia. Man, how long have you actually been involved in professional wrestling, dude?
10 years now. 10 years. It's still hard to believe that, actually.
Wow, man. And where did you get your start in wrestling?
I started in Perth at Explosive Pro Wrestling, EPW.
Man, EPW.
I did a tryout there.
Sorry, you were just lagging there. What was that? You did a tryout there, you were saying?
Yeah, I did a tryout, and I didn't get in, but it was good. It's good experience to start with. But then I went to All Action Wrestling, AEW.
Okay.
That's where
Where?
Faster Flash actually began from there on in.
Yeah, right. So is that based in Perth as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. It's not
Yeah,
run.
right.
It's not run there anymore. It's shut down like about about 5 years ago, give or take.
Yeah, right. And when did you actually make the move over to Sydney?
When was that? I was going back like I think about 8 years now. I moved back to Sydney. I'm originally born here, but now I moved back to 8 years ago.
Yeah, nice. And man, like obviously when you started out, in Perth, and then when you made the move to Sydney, had you wrestled in Sydney previously?
No, not at all. It's always been started Perth, then Sydney.
Yeah, right. So, once you got down here in Sydney, what did you think of the scene before, like compared, I should say, to the Perth scene?
Uh, Very different actually. Very different. Because in Perth, it wasn't well known back then in Perth wrestling. It's
Yeah.
still trying to get up to what it was. But in Sydney, I feel like it was starting, at its peak and getting up there.
Yeah, I think Sydney, obviously, it's being one of the major cities as well. Like it's just for entertainment, nightlife, and everything else. It's always, I think ahead of the curb. Like I think Melbourne sort of slowly caught up to us, but
Yeah.
we'll let them. So, but man, and when did FWA come to fruition, and what made you decide to create your own promotion?
Oh, FWA. That started about was it now? Nearly 4 years ago, back in
Yeah.
2017. And how it came about, look, running a promotion, that was like the idea. I want to do that, but the idea was for like later on in my life, like when I retire from wrestling, when it's all said and done, that was the idea. But then I thought, you know what? I've got the money. I can do this kind of thing. Got talent here in Sydney or around Australia. Want to give it a go? Let's do it. Now, I will admit, I had no idea what I was doing going into this whole company thing. No idea. All I knew is I had the money, and that's it. I had no clue what I was doing. And I will admit, it wasn't easy at first, but as the years have gone on, I've learned how to run a show, book a match. It's come a lot more easier now than it was when I first started, I guess I could say.
Yeah, I think it would be it'd be so hard because you like obviously performing in the ring, you learn how to do that, but then going in and then learning about how to put a card together, how to put like matches together, how to put guys against the right opponents and stuff like that, and I think a lot of wrestling fans would probably sit there and go, how hard could it be to like book a card? But I really think like until you've actually done it, you don't really understand how stressful it can be from putting a show together. And obviously, you said it's taken you some time to learn how to do that, and you guys have put on some really good shows of recently. I haven't been to an FWA show, I'll be honest, but I do plan to. It's just been unfortunate the times I've been wanting to go, it just with family and kids, but everything that I've heard from people is just absolutely amazing stuff. So, obviously, with FWA, like, is there anyone that helps you run that, or is it just you're pretty much on your own solo operator for that?
At first, I had a few wrestlers help me out, like for the first year, but lead on to the year after was the second year into it. It's just been me, all me, like matches, scouting talent, and the shows, running the shows. That's all me, and it's hard as hell to be honest with you.
And how did you go, like going and finding talent and going up to these guys? Like, did you have, like, obviously because you were working shows here previously and you build up relationships with them on that level, or were you actually going to shows, checking out who's performing well and then approaching after the show?
Both of those, what you just said, then both of them. I watch like when some promotion puts out a video of their show on YouTube or a website, I actually sit there and watch it and scout talent. And if I find someone that looks good, I'll message them or email them, say, hey, you want to come to the FWA show? Sure. And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, I mean that that's the thing. Like it's by putting on good shows and putting on cards and matches like that. What has been one of the most challenging things you've experienced as being a promoter?
It's a learning experience. What I say, because it's a side of the business that you don't know about as a wrestler. Like you don't know how Vince feels, or like any promoter like runs the show. Like you know how they feel now. Like not full on, but you get an idea of it, I guess.
Oh, 100%, and I think it's, by trial and error as well with a lot of the stuff, like going out there and, okay, well, that didn't work. Now I've got to try something differently. Would you say that's the case for a lot of things?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Exactly. It's good. Yeah.
And as far as booking shows go, with FWA, do you try and incorporate storylines into the matches and into feuds and stuff like that? Or is it just basically a card by card basis?
No, I definitely try to do storylines as much as I can. It's not, we've always like this whole COVID stuff. It's hard now because, we have like a breakout in COVID. Then my goes from like here to like not going anywhere now because of COVID. So at the moment it's hard, but yeah, I do try to do storylines for matches and that.
Yeah. And how do you find like creating the storylines? Do you get inspiration from anything for that?
Yeah, like a lot of wrestlers that I have on my roster actually message me saying, "Oh, we've got this idea. We're gonna run it by you." And I let them, because I've noticed some promotions, they like to do their own thing, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like to hear the wrestlers what they want to do. Like I want them to speak out and say, "What do you want?" Like if they have an opinion and whatnot, tell me what it is. It sounds good. Let's give it a go. Let's see what it does, and go from there. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, has there ever been like something presented to you where you've just gone, there's no fucking way we're going to do that?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. There has been times. Yes, there has definitely been times that's happened.
What's been the most out there thing that someone's come to you with, or that someone's thought up?
Hmm. Hmm. There's probably some out there, but for life, I can't think of any at the moment.
No, that's all good, man. We can come back to that, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
do you perform anywhere else yourself, or do you only solely perform for FWA?
I was before FWA. I was doing a bit of like shows in Queensland and Brisbane for a little bit, but now I keep the FWA. I just want to keep building FWA up a little bit and just keep towards that. If no show comes out, wants to start bringing out, I'll do it. But just FWA for now.
Sure. And, how do you find like on show day, when on a show that you're wrestling on and also, but obviously booking with FWA, do you find it less stressful when you're not performing on a show?
Yes and no. It's a bit of both. I am stressed out when I'm not booked, and I'm stressed out when I am booked. Because even I'll give you an example. Like when I faced Hurricane 1-on-1 on the big show when I had Hurricane and Shaka down, Hurricane was jet lagged. Like he had no sleep on his plane, nothing. I was trying to book a whole time. I was trying to book a whole entire show. He planned the match for me while I was trying to, plan out our matches for their wrestlers and whatnot. He planned the match for me and
Yeah.
did everything for me. So I didn't have to worry about anything else. Just my show, and he wrote about our match. He took care of everything for me.
Wow, that's crazy, man. And how did you find like wrestling against the Hurricane, man? Because that's a pretty big name to bring out.
Yeah, that was I was nervous as shit. Like the first time being in the ring with an international superstar, and I was nervous. as soon as that bell rang, I was like, shit, I'm the ring of the hurricane. Like, fuck. It was actually one match where this is like, he told me, like, right, you do whatever the hell you want. Do whatever you want. During this, in this space, do what you want. And when it came to that spot, I literally went blank. My moveset went out the window. I went blank. I didn't know what to do. I was like, shit. So I tried to remember what I could do, and like I went hurricane. Let's go straight to the finish. I'm blank. I'm sorry. I'm blank. I don't know what to do.
Did he tell you what did he tell you in that moment? Like, did he say, "Hey man, do this," or was it like, "All right, let's go to the finish"?
Yeah, no. I couldn't try to finish, but he said he guided me for the match. Like, he guided me everything. He guided me through to make sure I didn't forget one thing. And even if I did forget something, he'll make sure he put me in the position I would need to be, and he'll do the move for me. Because there was a lot of times that I forgot spots, and he made sure I was running the right spot for it and fixed me up. And I love him. I loved him to death for doing that to me, because I was nervous as all hell facing him. He knew I was nervous. That's crazy. He knew that.
And I think that's probably the thing. Like, someone like Hurricane, who is a veteran in professional wrestling and been around and worked for major companies, he could sit there and see, okay, this person's nervous. Like, being the veteran, okay, I'm gonna have to help this person get through it and walk them through the process. So, what did you walk away from that match as? Did you gain anything specific that you walked away from and going, well, that's something I'm going to take with me for the rest of my career?
Probably just being in his presence, like being in a ring with like as guys been like done like like WE, all kind of stuff. It's an honor to be in in a ring and something like that. Just like done it all. So yeah, definitely take away that from definitely.
Sure. I mean, and how did you because you brought him out here for this particular match? How many cards was Hurricane around for?
Just the one. Him and Sugar Road, just the one show.
Yeah, right. And getting someone like that out for the show, did you have an expectation on what you wanted the crowd to be? Like, how many numbers you want for the crowd? Obviously, bringing out international stars can be quite costly, and especially a business which you're trying to make some money in professional wrestling and make sure all the guys get fixed up at the end of the night as well. Did you have a certain expectation on what you wanted through the door that night?
I did. Like, I was hoping for maybe 200 people, give or take, but I got at least 100 people out of that show. And look, leading up to that show, my shows before that were like a good 50, maybe less even people at the show, and I was I was hoping for this one. Yeah, I got Hurricane, I got Shagarero. I was hoping, big crowd. And it was a big crowd. The fans were, hyped up. Everything. That's exactly what I wanted. So I'm happy either way. At least 100 people there. Gave it a good show. Happy as all hell.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the most, I think, stressful thing about being a promoter is will we get the numbers that we want through the door? And, how did FWA go from, obviously you've got a strong fan base now, but how did you guys go from start? Did you always have a strong following coming in because you had talent that were able to bring the fans to there, or was it a struggle at start?
It was a big struggle at the start. Because I only started about, it went from 60 to the second show being 30 people at a show, and then it went back to 60, and then the show leading up to the Hurricane show, I had at least 30 people at the show, and I brought Chelsea Green.
Okay, yeah.
And I only had 30 people, maybe 40 in the crowd. I bought it from the location. I can't remember for life of me, and I lost so much money that night. It pissed me off so much. That's where I nearly had the idea of I'm going to shut it all down together. I can't do this anymore if I'm getting that kind of crowd. But
yeah, it must have been like so disheartening for you, man. But what made you keep going?
I knew I was doing something wrong. Like, I knew I wasn't paying attention to something, like why I wasn't getting the big crowds and whatnot. I knew I was doing something wrong. And I actually went out to watch. I went out as a fan, as a spectator, to watch wrestling shows. I went to PWA, Wrestling Go, MCW. Went with Melbourne to watch MCW, and I watched what they did, and figure out what I'm not doing and what they're doing with the crowds, and see where I'm going wrong. And I did figure out where I was going wrong. I wasn't paying attention to the fans. I wasn't paying attention to the wrestlers or the matches. All I knew in my mind is I had the money to do this, but I wasn't paying attention to anything, nothing. So I thought, nah, screw this. I can do this. Let's give this one last go and see where we go from there. And from there on in, I've learned how this side of business works. And I feel that now I have more of an idea of what I'm doing, and I know I'm doing better than what I was when I first started this whole thing.
And that must be the thing, like to go through that learning process and to do it essentially by yourself for a majority of the time. It must have been like there must have been many moments where you were just like literally pulling your hair out, going like, "How do I get this?"
Yeah, there was.
And you mentioned like you weren't paying attention to the fans. What did you mean by that? Like you weren't interacting with them enough?
Yeah, exactly. Like I wasn't like, because like a lot of the fans, like they say, oh, they want this match or they want that match. I wasn't paying attention to what they wanted. Like I was just doing what I wanted. And you can do that, but what you want might not be what they want.
Yeah.
So you just gotta pay attention to them. Like you can do what you want, but saying that you gotta do what the fans want. You gotta share it a bit. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think fans like to know that they have a voice, and especially in pro wrestling. And you've seen major companies change their way in booking just because of the reaction of that crowd. So
yeah.
I think that's your customer base, right? So you've got to make sure your customers are leaving happy. Have you got a regular roster that only wrestles for you guys, or is everyone sort of all over, like working for everywhere? I
do have my regulars, but I do like to bring out like guys from Melbourne, Adelaide, Queensland, Perth, all this. So I want to bring out new guys that even fans have asked for me to bring out. I bring them out because I want the fans to have what they want. So yeah, it's kind of like all over around Australia. I try to bring everyone I can, much as I can as possible.
And who's like an Australian name that you'd love to bring out to an FWA show that you haven't at the moment?
I'd have to say Royce Chambers, someone that I'm dying to get an FWA badly.
Where's he sort of in the whole mix of things? Has he said that he's prepared to come out, or you haven't heard yet?
Yeah, we've been talking for ages, me and Royce Chambers, and he definitely wants to come to FWA, definitely. So hopefully one day I can bring him out here.
Yeah. And how did you come up with the name FWA, like Future Wrestling Australia? Like, what was the mindset around that name for you?
The idea was at first was just to have like future stars of Australia, because like we are trying to, because the idea of Future Australia is like we're trying to promote like future stars of Australia, into the real world kind of thing, like all around the world kind of thing.
Yeah, no, look, it seems like a creative name. I actually saw the the photo of the Velocities with your new tag belts as well. So, those belts look absolutely beautiful, man. And I think that's a sign as well when a company invests in their their belts like that as well and get like a good quality belt. It sort of gives it a bit more prestige to that championship than being just like a bit of scrappy leather with a plate strapped onto it. So I definitely take my hat off to you for that. And I think that's obviously the attention to detail where, like some really detailed fans notice those little things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but looking at some of the guys now, like, have you ever had issues, with people you've had performing on your cards that have just said, "Look, I don't want to do this. I don't want a job to this person," or like they've gone into business for themselves at all? Like, and if you have, like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, I've had plenty of wrestlers, like that. If anyone's got an issue with me, like issue like they want to, face a certain person, whatnot, come to me and like tell me like you got issue with it. Let's work it out. Let's deal with it. And there's other times like where wrestlers that just, haven't paid attention to me at all, or not listened to me at all, and I thought, what, there's a door. See you later. I don't want to deal with you. I've got other guys that want opportunities. You obviously want to be a pain in the ass. There's a door. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I think that some people, if you want to rock up with that attitude, but also hats off to you for being able to say, "Hey, you don't like it, fuck off." You know what I mean? Like, you can't pander to people no matter who they are, and
Yeah.
especially in business like that when like you're paying them for a service to do your show.
Yeah, too.
This is pro wrestling, bro. This is how what I mean. This is not like just an afternoon in the playground. Like, you're either going to turn up and play ball as a team, or you can get the fuck out. And man, hats off to you for doing that. But we have got a few questions coming through here, man. And Kyle Eade, who is a regular of the show, he wants to ask you, what's your favorite show that you've run?
Ooh, favorite show.
Or booked?
It would have to be the Hurricane show. Definitely the Hurricane show. Definitely.
Was that the same one with Shaul Guerrero on as well?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I feel that's where FWA pick up its second win. Pretty much. That's where it started. I feel. The first 4 shows. That's where it started. But I feel like that shows where it's where it started. That's where the new beginning of FWA is where it started. I think it should.
Yeah, right. Now, getting into your career as a professional wrestler, like, how did you come up with the name 5-Star
Splash. That's where it came from.
So obviously, like, you're a huge Eddie fan.
That's exactly it. Exactly. Eddie's my hero. That's where it all began. Eddie got me into this business. When Eddie Guerrero passed away, I promised Eddie Guerrero I'll live my dream and be a wrestler, and I've kept that promise to him every day. But
Man,
he's finished moving fast.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so explain to me the character of 5-Star Flash. Though, like, are you heel, face? Like, what's some of your, what's your character traits?
He's a face. Basically, he's a guy that he's overcome the odds. Like, he's been put down so many times, but every time he gets back on his feet and keeps pushing forward, no matter what, he gets thrown at his face. He overcomes the odds, and yeah.
Yeah, right. So just that underdog, like, trying to come back, and then sweet. Get the comeback, and the ultimate baby face, man. I dig it. I dig it. So have you ever tried to take your character heel at all?
I was a heel in Queensland for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's just I feel better doing my face gimmick than doing my heel gimmick. It's still a learning experience being a heel. It's not that easy being a heel. I feel better doing a face. I feel more comfortable doing a face than being a heel.
And when you wrestled Hurricane, like, was how did that go? Because I can imagine the crowd was pretty much behind him.
Well, because Hurricane, because he even told me like, because he's like his character, like, he's a superhero. He works more like heels, like villains and whatnot.
Yeah.
When he said, like, I'm a face too, I'm like, this is gonna be interesting. So he tried to like make sure, like, we're both faces, but I knew going in, like, I'll be getting booed like crazy, and he'll get over because everyone wants to see Hurricane, not me. Yeah. So when I knew it was gonna happen, like when I went over, I got booed living I got booed, living the shit out of. Like everyone booed me like Roman Reigns, like him when he was getting booed. That's what it felt like. It was that bad.
Real.
Yeah, and like they come over and said, "Look, you knew it was gonna happen." Like, yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. So, raised my hand, hugged, and the fans stuck around me. Like, yeah.
Did the fans? Do you feel like the fans shit on the finish, or were they just booing because their guy got beat?
Yeah, they were got beat. What was it?
Sorry, what was that? You just cut out there.
Yeah, it was pretty much them booing because the guy got beat. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much what it was. I wanted it.
Right.
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. Like I knew it was gonna happen. It was obvious.
Was it like you knew it was going to happen? Was that the reaction you wanted? Did you want to get booed that night? Like, was that the obviously take like you would have went into it knowing that you were going to probably be the heel in this match to the crowd?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I was maybe expecting like a few people like go yay and whatnot, but I knew the reaction would be like booing all the way. I knew it would be like I knew it was gonna happen, so I expect it to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, I think as well, like, from everything you explained to me, your character, it'd be very hard for that to be a heel and still be an underdog.
Yeah.
Not saying that it can't be done. I'm sure it can definitely be done, but like it's, the traits fit the gimmick to be like complete babyface, but like what do you sort of look for, yourself when you're, on like you have to wrestle a big match, like you wrestled the Hurricane. What are some of the things like when you go into those matches? And you said the Hurricane put that match together because you're running around for the show. Do you try and put the matches together that you're involved in, or do you pretty much just say to the person you're wrestling, "Hey, you put this together. I'll be back in. Like I got other stuff to deal with. We'll do whatever you like." Do they call that match with you, or is it a two-way street?
I try to make it two-way street. Majority of the time, but majority of the time they actually like whoever I wrestle. Most of the time they plan it for me, like because they know I got a lot of work to do and whatnot. So most of the time they plan it for me, and it works easy for me. Like even like when I faced Adam Brooks a couple of shows ago, he planned the whole match as well, and he just asked me what moves do you do. I told him what moves to do, and he incorporated into the match, and he just planned the whole match for me, pretty much.
Man, that's complete. That's very lucky to be able to to have that done. And Adam Brooks is a phenomenal talent as well. So I can just imagine it would have been a pretty solid match.
Oh, it was. Like a lot of wrestlers and fans told me like, "Oh, that was an awesome match. You want another match with you and Brooksy?" Like, we'll do it definitely. Like me and Brooksy want to do it again anyway, so let's do it again. Definitely.
Yeah. Who's been some of your favorite opponents to wrestle?
Okay, it's probably like there's a lot there. There's a lot. But if I had to choose, it'd be Brooksy, Hurricane, Ricky South, definitely, and
He's good.
yeah, and AC Diamond, my former tag partner.
Oh yeah. So he's wrestles for FWA as well.
He's only done 2 of my shows, but he's more based in Queensland / Brisbane. And that's where me and him started out. That's where me and him met up when he first started out his career.
Yeah, right. And what was like, obviously bringing these guys into FWA, but like, for you and FWA, do you guys only do shows in New South Wales in the Sydney area, or do you guys ever go like do little tours? Obviously pre-COVID.
Nah, let's keep it New South Wales for now. I would like to go out, somewhere else one day, but for now, just New South Wales. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's hard taking the show on the road to other states and stuff, even if COVID wasn't a factor like it is now. But...
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's not easy. Costs a lot of money, but yeah, it's not easy.
And like as far as like with FWA, like what are your plans like long term with FWA? Like, do you plan to get on streaming services and stuff like that, and getting your shows filmed for that?
I did look. I don't know how much longer. I don't know how much longer. Look, FW is gonna last. Look, it could end tomorrow for all I know. Who knows? But I'm just gonna keep going as long as I can until I feel it's time to shut it down and continue as fast as Flash and try to accomplish what I want to accomplish. You know, later on in life. But I'm gonna keep going as much, long as I can. But see how long it lasts.
Sure, man. And what goals do you have for as a professional wrestler? Like, where do you want? What are some of the goals that you've got for yourself as a performer?
Um, Look, I still want to go to overseas one day whenever this COVID shit pisses off. Um, Whenever it does, it's not going to ever piss off. But I'm sure one day it'll piss off. I don't know when, but one day. But I would love to go overseas, try out for WWE one day, hopefully. And if I make it, I make it. I don't make it, well, I'll give it another go maybe. But that's the main goal is WWE. That's the way I want to be one day. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I think everyone who gets into the world of pro wrestling, that's
Yeah.
their ultimate dream. That's their ultimate goal is to be in WWE. Like I think everyone grew up watching and aspires to get to that level of performing for WWE. And I think that is on everyone's biggest list as well. So, have you ever had a tryout with WWE? Have you ever been in talks with them at all?
No, never, never. I've never gone that far. I know other wrestlers here in Australia have, had their own like little like secret tryouts or whatnot. I would love to go one of those one day when they come out to do the live shows and whatnot. But I wouldn't know where to begin with like that kind of stuff, like where to put contact or whatnot. So I have to research that, I guess, and figure it out.
Yeah. And as far as, like with promotions in Australia, like, there's a lot of top promotions right now in Australia, and Australian wrestling has gone from here to here to here to here. And like the talent has just grown exponentially. Is there any companies out there that you would be willing to cross promote with, whether you could see like FWA versus this promotion, like
Um,
cross promoted cards?
Probably MSW, definitely MSW. I'm a big fan of MSW. I love what they do with the company, and I would definitely love to do a cross promotion with them. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, is that something that you'd have ever tried to have talks with other promotions about doing a cross promoted card?
Well, actually, promotions. I won't name the names, but have asked that with me, and I've gone. Well, you're not that well. Yeah, you're not that well known around Australia at the moment. So I'd rather you do your own thing at the moment, and get known. Then we'll talk later on. But at the moment, I want to keep my own thing with FDWA as well, and like just keep pushing that as much as I can until I feel I'm ready to do something like that one day maybe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's got to be beneficial for both companies to really be
Yeah.
able to pull it off and to be able to get like the numbers that everyone's happy with and the matches that everyone's happy with and who goes over who and keeping that happy and stuff like that. But like I think as well, like it could only be good for Australian wrestling the more that we see cross promoted events happening. And I think there's been a couple here and there that have done it, and it's done reasonably well. I personally I'd love to see more of it, like invasion angles and shit, man. That stuff that adds to so much excitement as a fan's perspective, so
Yeah, it does.
but look, man, we're getting close to that time, man. But where can everyone go to, follow FWA, follow 5 Star Flash? Can you tell us where we can follow FWA and yourself?
Yeah, pretty much Instagram. Yeah, just follow me at 5 Star Flash and FWA Future Wrestling Australia. Facebook 5 Star Flash again, and Facebook Future Wrestling Australia as well. Both on Twitter as well. Yeah, that's about it really. Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, guys, Thank you very much, 5 Star Flash, for coming on, man. It's been a really great time sitting here having a chat to you. Love to get you on again very, very soon, man. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in live. We've had some solid numbers all the way through this one, guys. We appreciate you giving your time up on a Tuesday evening. Justin Hicks has been tuning in from the US, so you know it's going to be early over there. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. But until next time, guys, I'm Piers Austin. This is 5 Star Flash, and we're going to be seeing you guys very, very soon. Anyway, guys, catch you next time.